Hi, Marjana. How are you?
Hi, Judy. Good. How are you?
Good seeing you again. And thanks for taking the time to talk about this new story that you have. So, Marjana, can you share about your health condition with this CRPS, the complex regional pain syndrome that you had?
Yes. So in 2012, I suffered an injury. It was actually a fall, and I have broken a bone in my foot, and I had torn ligaments.
Wow.
Yeah, but it wasn't anything out of ordinary as far as the injury. I um, I had the medical boot for about 6 weeks, then a little bit extra time after that. I went through the physical therapy. Everything seemed to be um, going better.
Mhm.
However, I started having all kinds of pains. And those pains were increasing more and more. They were much more painful than when I suffered the injury itself. And it would range from anything from burning pain to stabbing pain. The pain was traveling up my leg. It was just, it was bad. It
Yeah.
was really, yeah,
So
I didn't know what was happening and why this was happening.
where did the pain originate from though? I mean, like where was it happening?
Everything was coming from the foot,
From
from
the
the foot
foot.
and
Wow.
going up and keep on moving up to the entire leg. So the pain was literally traveling. Um, I had changes in the temperature of the foot and the leg, changes in the skin color, um, and like I said, the pain was
Yeah.
just increasing more and more. It would become
Wow.
constant, 24/7.
Hmm.
Um, I went to see quite different specialists. They did different tests, and they all came to a conclusion that I had CRPS, which is a
Oh,
complex
wow.
regional pain syndrome. And it was a type 2 at that point because it was a year and a half, maybe a little bit later after the onset of the injury.
Hmm. So what did you do to treat that?
Well, I went through the initial physical therapy, which didn't do
Yeah.
anything. I um, I got to see a doctor who specialized in pain management because that's all it was available at that time to treat this
Right.
condition, just the pain management. And that pain management consisted of different type of pain medications, which I tried, or or you would get a nerve block injections to your
Oh
spine.
my goodness. Wow. How long did you do the Western medicine treatment?
Well, I tried the
Yeah.
medications, which didn't work for me
Right.
because my body just was too sensitive to take. I refused to take the nerve block injections because they were so risky. You
Mhm.
actually had to sign a release form if with all of these dangers. This
Oh,
is no,
goodness. Uh-huh.
no, I think I stay the way I am. Um, so I tried all of that. Nothing really worked.
Yeah.
Uh, I did things on my own, simple things, soaking my feet in an Epsom salt,
Yeah.
exercise, stretching, uh, but it just was not getting any better. It was just horrific. The limitation to walking. Um, I had to compromise every day. If I had to go grocery shopping to walk, that was it for the full day.
Oh
After
my
I
goodness.
had on my feet,
Yeah.
because what was happening, I started to suffer with these extreme attacks. Um, So I could be standing or walking, and all of a sudden, the whole legs would just give up. You just give up.
Yeah.
You just they would become almost limp. There was
Yeah.
no strength, and the pain was just unbearable, unbearable.
Yeah, I
Uh,
believe you. I mean, it sounds like that's a pretty intense situation to be dealing with. And, you sharing that it almost summons so much of your energy, just like what you're saying, you only had enough energy to do your grocery shopping, and that was a lot for you already.
the day that I turned on the TV and seen people doing Tai Chi, it's just interested me very much, shook me to the
Right,
core, something that I needed to do.
right.
Uh, I started Tai Chi with a different master for a couple of years, but again, had nothing to do with my condition.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and from there, I changed the masters. That's how I met Dr. Wu and started the Tai Chi with Dr. Wu. And I think a couple of years into it, I did started to see changes, which I wasn't speaking to anybody about it.
Mm,
The changes that would occur is my pains weren't as often on daily
right,
basis. They were decreasing. The attacks were decreasing. Um, and from there, it started getting better. It came to the point where one day I sit down and thinking back, wow, when was the last time I had this severe attack? I couldn't remember anymore, where before it was pretty often the severe
right.
attack.
So,
Uh,
Marjana, so you're saying this practice of Tai Chi completely transformed you and also improved your condition of the CRPS?
yes,
Wow.
Tai Chi cured my CRPS because in 2022, um, my feet started looking normal. They no longer were swollen. There was a normal color to them. My toenails started growing normal. I had normal feet. And I didn't have any longer any pains.
Right.
And I still waited for a year, over a year, before I even mentioned to anybody this is what happened to me.
Wow.
Because I was afraid to say anything about it because I didn't know, is this just temporary? Is this gonna come back? So
Right.
I kept it to myself. And I
Right.
actually, last year, the end of last year, I told Dr. Wu, this is what I had, this is what
That's
happened.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it because he had no idea. I never said a word to him about it. I showed him the pictures, and yeah, he
I saw
couldn't
the
believe.
pictures myself too, because your testimonial is actually going to the new Tai Chi book that's coming up. So how long did you do Tai Chi before you started seeing improvements in your condition and your feet?
I think it started maybe a fourth year into it,
Yeah,
and the changes were very slow, very slow.
right.
Yeah, but yeah, a fourth year into it. But keep in mind, the way I do Tai Chi, I am so much into it, and I practice so much. I practice, as you know, I practice 2 hours every day, one
Oh
hour
my
in the morning.
goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's not something that I would do only once or twice a week. It is constant, and it has been ever since. I don't skip a day unless I'm very sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, I don't think people realize the intense and the power of Tai Chi. I mean, I would have never think something like Tai Chi would help cure that stabbing pain and that kind of suffering that you went through. I mean, it's incredible. What do you think it is about Tai Chi that had helped your condition? Is it because your movement is moving oxygen, moving blood circulation? What do you think is happening there to help it?
I think everything
Okay.
is. strengthening the muscles, improving the blood flow, also helping you
Yeah.
mentally, spiritually, being connected. That's one of the other things that I have not talked about because I was so very depressed,
Mm.
because of pain, being totally drained, not sleeping. It really takes a toll on the
Yeah.
mind, body, and that's where Tai Chi came in. So it's not just physically that it can cure you, whatever conditions you have, but also mentally and spiritually. You
Yeah.
know, they call it meditation in motion,
Right.
like I doctor will, it could be as well called medicine,
Right.
and because it is very, very powerful. And I don't think a lot of people talk about that. And I don't think a lot of people know about it.
Exactly. And I think that's why we so much wanted to interview you because of this. And there's a new book that's coming out pretty soon about Tai Chi. And it's amazing that we don't tap into this inner power, this healing capability that we have. So when you practice Tai Chi, do you think that is what's happening also is when you're meditating in these movements, you're stimulating this healing property in yourself and also maybe creating that harmony because there's different levels of frequencies as we know, right? And
Yes,
fear is the lowest. If you're scared and fear and you're in the fearful state, it's hard to heal, correct?
exactly.
Yeah, but then if you're operating more on a harmonious and you're in tuned with the Tao or call it God, universe, whatever works for you. It just seems like this is a way to tune into yourself and your body and the universe. Can you share more and elaborate more on that? Because I hear you're also a Tai Chi teacher, correct?
Yes,
Instructor. Yeah. So I would love to hear more of your philosophy, your thinking about that alignment of the mind, body, and soul, and what is happening when you're making these movements and doing these movements.
I think it's just amazing. And like you had mentioned, the
Yeah.
connection is unbelievable because you really, as you're doing it, you are totally connected with your body, with your mind, and like I mentioned, spiritually. You are in a totally different zone.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Like
nothing
it's,
else
yeah.
is existing around you. You just in that moment, and that's what Dr. Wu talks about a lot. Be in the moment. Listen,
Yeah.
body, be connected. This is just so very important for any of a healing to begin, because really any illness that you have, you're not just treating the physical part of it, but you do have to treat emotional part of it,
Right.
because everything starts with our brain. Our brain is so very powerful. So if mentally you are weakened, and don't see things in a positive way, how can you possibly start healing the body
Right.
physically?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Those
very
are great points. I so agree with you, especially Marjana, in our society today and this modern era, we are constantly on adrenaline, right? We have to rush to go to work. We have to rush to go work out. We got to rush to our kids or rush there's constant scheduling going on. And so you don't feel like you're getting a break at all. It's almost like you have to intentionally give yourself a break, like in Tai Chi. So, why do you think that most people are not doing something like this in their everyday practice?
I think because a lot of people are not aware. I don't
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough information out there about Tai Chi to know
Yeah.
about. I think everybody should be practicing Tai
I
Chi.
do too.
Should be in schools. I think the kids should start very early on because
Yeah.
it's so beneficial, especially with everything that goes on nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also think it's like almost a mandatory skill to learn how to calm your nervous system because
Yeah,
a lot of us, we're under pressure all the time, either to perform, financial pressure, work pressure, and all of that. And what are the tools that you can use to help yourself? And I think that's almost a life skill that most people don't think about, like what you're saying, they're not aware or they're not educated in this option. But so I like to know, as far as, you've been doing Tai Chi for how many years now?
so this is going to be 7 years. Seven
Wow.
years. Yeah.
7 years. Wow. And do you feel that this has been a huge part in your mental wellness, your emotional wellness, your physical wellness? Is this like a core of what you want of what you do every day that helps you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What
It's just, Tai Chi is just amazing. It's a total blessing to everything.
I'm just curious, Marjana, what is the difference when you do practice Tai Chi one day and then you don't do it for a couple days?
You have a withdrawal. Your body, your mind have a withdrawal. Like, please, the mind begging you, please just get up
Right.
and do it.
Yeah. Wow. That's really amazing. So you're definitely getting many benefits from it. If you're saying the word withdrawal, that's quite big.
Tai
Yeah.
Chi to me nowadays is like picking up a glass of water and drinking. It's just a must for survival. So
Yeah.
that's how I treat my Tai Chi. There is no such thing. I know everybody's very busy, and I know it's so easy to make an excuse. So I don't have the time.
Exactly.
Really, if you want to, you always find the time. I'm very busy too. I'm working full time. I'm taking
Yeah.
classes. I'm teaching, and I'm giving therapies, and there is no such thing. You can always make it fit into schedule only if you want to.
I agree. I agree. If it's important enough, you make
Yes,
time for it. Yeah,
yes.
that's amazing. Um, so now with your condition of the CRPS, is it completely gone?
It is completely gone. It's been totally gone since 2022, fall of 2022.
That,
I haven't had
yeah,
any pain. I can walk up to 3 miles, no problem. I walk on my treadmill in the winter time, no problem walking, where before it was just impossible. Impossible.
that is incredible. And this is all from just doing Tai Chi for a couple of
Actually,
years without
I,
any medicine.
I have not taken any medicine. No, no.
Wow. Wow, that is truly a powerful story of what Tai Chi can do for your body and for healing. My goodness, thank you so much, Marjana. Do you have any message or anything you would like to say to the audience regarding Tai Chi?
Please, everybody and anybody in any age, to please give it a try, to try to do Tai Chi, to learn little bit at a time. It will benefit you and will change your life forever. So
Wow.
it would encourage everybody. It is just so beneficial, and it can, like I said, it can cure so many different illnesses and diseases. And why not give it a try? You have nothing else to lose. Nothing is going through your body.
Right.
uh, it's natural.
Right, right. And you did this completely organically, which is incredible. I mean,
Yes.
most people I think would be running into ER.
No.
Wow. Well, thank you so much again, Marjana, for sharing your incredible story. And I'm sure the audience would really appreciate this kind of knowledge. And hopefully, this will open them up to learning Tai Chi. Thank you, Marjana.
Thank you for having me, Judy. It was really nice talking to you.
Good talking with you as well.
Okay.